Morning. This is Strudel Dog up in the North Georgia mountains. They're telling me fall's supposed to be here, but I'm not quite agreeing with them yet. They're promising it'll show up in a day or two. Um, I'm into my persimmon season here. Really got some nice persimmons on my young trees. This is, I think it's one of the Giros. It was actually an unnamed, well, a lost label fruit from Just Fruits and Exotics. It's non-astringent, really puts out nice fruit. Set pretty good fruit this year. This is my Tananashi. Nice little pretty tree, and the fruit's all done. It's not one of my favorite to eat fresh. I dehydrated them pretty much all this year. This is Howell River. Howell River's a nice astringent fruit. Really puts on heavy set. I probably let it set too much. You could look at those limbs or bowing down some, but it's a really good astringent. Maybe a little bit below my favorites. Well, I don't know. Depends on the day. This is Rojo Brilliant. I grafted it last year. It did set some fruit. It dropped it. I imagine it may hold within a year or two. I think this is just standard Fuyu. Nothing wrong with standard Fuyu. Nice big rounded fruits, non-astringent, pretty much the standard for non-astringents. It's not proven to be quite as cold hardy for me as some. This is Rosie Yanka. It's a hybrid. Rosie really put on the set for me this year. I like it. It's good. You can definitely tell it's the Virginiana American fruit in it, but it's a good tree. There's that's rootstock. Was my Mahakawajiro. Gonna have to try to graft it again. This is a multi-graft I did on last spring. It's JTO2, which is a hybrid, and Cassandra. Thanks, Tony, for the wood for that. I'll probably thin it down to make one type tree out of it eventually. My Shing lost its foliage. I like Shing's fruit. It's a really pretty fruit, tasty, astringent. But the only year I've got it to hold the fruit real good is when I had a pollinator in here. And I really don't care for the seeds that much. I removed the pollinator and Shing and another have problem holding the fruit, it seems. Or at least that's what I'm blaming on them right now. Ichikawajiro. It's a nice fruit. Nice big astringent on a small, non-astringent on a small tree. The shape of my tree is kind of ugly. I lost part of the branching on it from making a mistake of leaving too much fruit on it last year, I think. Here's what I call my Gayambo knot. The reason I call it Gayambo knot is it's not Gayambo, which Just Fruit sold it to me as. And I do have Gayambo now, but it just sets tons of huge fruit. I like the tree shape. I think it's one of the Zeros, but again, absolutely, I'm not 100% sure. Here's my Nikita's Gift. Beautiful fruit. Red fruit. It's a hybrid too. I think it's 3/4 khaki. I really like this thing. It sets tons of fruit. In fact, you can see where all the fruit has dropped off of it. It's the other one I was speaking about. I'm beginning to suspect maybe it doesn't hold fruit real well, non-pollinated, because that year I had the pollinators, the only year it really held a lot. Here's Honan Red. I just grafted it last year. There's Mahakawajiro. I need to split that one. I did 2 grafts. I need to take one off and let it be a central. I said Mahakawajiro. I meant Matsumoto Wasfuyu. I was up at my cabin with my older trees yesterday, and I picked probably close to a bushel of Matsumoto Wasfuyu. It's a good early sport of Fuyu. Really like it a lot. Another one I'm going to have to regraft here. I'll walk over a couple rows over I got some more. This is an Ichikajiro that I'm just trying to grow more as a bush shape. This one I grafted from USDA Davis wood. I don't know, probably making a mistake growing at that tree form. Here's Okigosho. This Okigosho doesn't have fruit on it. I think I've got a few on one in my backfield. Roundish, non-astringent. Not too many people grow that one. Here's a Tam-Cam. This is Tam-Cam from USDA Davis that I grafted a few years back. It's the other tree I'm trying to see what happens if I grow in that little small shrub type thing. You see where it's dropped some fruit. Here, this tree's not looking good. Last couple weeks it did have some fruit on it. I don't know if it's just feeling fall or not. It just looks weakly. This tree and that tree beside it, I'm not 100% sure. Well, one of them was supposed to be Seijo, and it's definitely not Seijo. So I kind of took the labels off both of them. I think one of them's, the fruit's usually smaller, bigger on that. I just don't think that tree's feeling real good. This one I actually think's maybe another standard Giro, not standard Fuyu. It's awful hard to tell the difference between Giros and Fuyus sometimes, especially since Fuyu's been used generically a lot of times, and their names are mixed up, so you're never sure what your base is. At least I'm not. But this tree here is well, it's what Ellie Cook calls a Fuyu. It's a West Coast tree, so that means it's probably what us on the east side call Giro. I think it's actually Giro. Nice little tree. Here's what was this? Giant Hana Fuyu or Giant Fuyu. It's probably the one tree. It was from LA Creek. Probably the one tree I had in my orchard that was on lotus. Doesn't speak too good for lotus to me. This is a Guyambo with an N. It's the same as Guyambo, I believe. I'm sure just a different nursery, a different introduction. That one's from Chestnut Hill. Jump over here. Here's a Yates Yule. The deer have been picking off on this. It's the little American. It had some nice little fruit on it earlier. And here's the one. This is what I thought I was growing as Proc. Really nice fruit. Looked just about like my Nikita's Gift, and I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. I got some other opinions, saw some other pictures, and I'm thinking maybe that my Proc is, this Proc is Nikita's Gift. Not 100% sure, but I do have a different Proc yet in a different location. Hasn't fruited yet, so maybe I still got Proc. Here is actually Guyambo with an M. Just fruits. Really nice big fruit. I left one on it. Astringent. Good tree. Looking at the form, I can tell it's the same as that other one. Here's Seijo. Everybody loves Seijo. I think I've said it before. I don't know anybody that likes astringent that doesn't like sago. Just a little golden glob of honey, productive. People can say the fruit is small, but to be honest, that's the size of a good sized plum. It's plenty good. There's Fuji the kitten. Here is Guangyang, non-astringent. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have left all this fruit on it. I thought more would drop, but it seemed to hold them. Yeah, at this point, I'll just pick them. Probably pick them tomorrow or so. But it's a nice non-astringent of Korean. Here's a rootstock I need to do over. One of my two cursed trees, Izu in Mahikawa. I still get Izu in another location, but I wanted it here in this orchard too. I'll probably graft it over to that same tree next spring. Here is Giant Hanafuyu. It had some nice fruit on it until recent and dropped. That's not unusual for young persimmon. Here's my other Mahaka Wajiro, the cursed tree. And here's Tam-Cam from Just Fruit. Fruit doesn't look quite as squarish as what I got from UC Davis, USDA. I don't know. I've got some other, got quite a few other planted out in my front pasture and my back pasture, but we're not going to walk out today. So Strudel Dog, wishing you a nice day out North Georgia mountains. Good day.